Whether you're just starting out in real estate investing or already making strides, the Investor Evolution podcast is tailored for you. Come along as we tackle these questions directly and deliver practical insights to empower your journey in the realm of real estate investing. Hello and welcome to the Investor Evolution podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly Hoyt. Today, we are going to do a little bit of a book review. Yes, I am that nerd. I love reading, and actually now I listen to most of the books because, I can do it while I'm doing other things, especially driving. So today we're going to talk about The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace, Wattles. Now, what's interesting about this book is I still feel like it's relevant today, even though it was first published in 1910. You heard me right, 1910, 114 years ago. And I want to go through kind of a high-level overview of what this book is about and then give us some action steps that we can take. I would encourage you guys to read and or listen to this book as well, because I think you will get so much out of it. I've listened to it once. I'm on round 2 because it's a lot to think about and it's a lot to change your perspective. Okay. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Okay. So first off, brief overview. He introduces this idea that there is this universal energy that all things are made from. And being a believer, being a Christian, and being made in the image of God, who is the creator, I do believe that we have that in us as well. We have the ability to think and create, right? Just like we talked about last week, all this stuff that you see in this world, as far as the man-made stuff, right? We thought it and created it. And that is how we can continue to expand and grow, because we can think about things and create it, which is so cool. I love this. So there's several key principles. Number one, the first thing you've kind of got to think about is that you actually do have the right to be rich and the right to be wealthy, because with increasing your wealth, you have more that is flowing to you that can flow through you. And to expand to the fullness of life that God has for you. We are God's highest form of creation. He doesn't want us to languish. He doesn't want us to be in want and be in lack. Just like you don't want that for your kids, right? Now, are there times where we allow our kids to struggle through things because they need to learn it? Yes, absolutely. But that doesn't mean we don't want the best for them. Same thing here. And when we are receiving more, and we can give so much more too, right? And it's all about that abundance mindset. What's coming to me is for me and through me, and I can move it on to others who need it as well. So that will help us to live a fuller and more productive life when we are allowing that wealth to come to us. Number 2, we need to be thinking in a certain way. And this is the importance of being creative versus competitive. And again, I know we talked about this last week. There's a lot of repetitive stuff coming in, but that creative thought is where it's unlimited. And we can produce and create so many things. And once it's put out there, we're going to start attracting stuff to us. We can also work on creating more value to those around us versus competing for resources. And I love this thought. Life begets life, right? When we are creating, we can't help but fill. We can't help but expand. We can't help but grow. And when we're in that creative mindset versus the competitive mindset, the possibilities are limitless. And I love that thought. Number 3, we also need to be acting in a certain way. We need to act as if we already have it. Act as if it's already ours, because then as we're moving towards whatever we're working towards, it's moving towards us. When we're acting in that manner of certainty that this is coming to us and we have that positive attitude, it will advance us to our goals much faster. And then the third principle is the practice of gratitude. When we align our thoughts with positive energy and that positive outlook, we can't help but see what's for us. We can't help but seeing opportunities and obstacles. So gratitude practice is huge. Okay, so the 4 kind of overall principles, I would say, and we'll recap those here. So number 1, that you do have a right to be rich. That might feel uncomfortable for some of us, but it's okay. That is a good thing. Number 2, we need to think in a certain way, being creative in our thoughts versus competitive. Number 3, we need to act in a certain way. We need to act with purposeful motion towards achieving that wealth. And then number 4, we need to practice gratitude. So what are some steps that we can do to move ourselves forward in this way? The very first thing that is critical and is crucial is you actually have to have a clear vision of where you're going. Just like Google Maps, if you don't have a destination, we can't get there. We have to have a destination. You have to have a clear vision of what it is you're working for, what it is that you want, and what it is that you need to do. Now, I know we've all heard of vision boards. We've probably all created them. But what I want you to do is create a life in your head that is exactly the way you want it. As crystal clear, as specific as you possibly can. What house are you living in? Where are you living? What does the inside look like? What are the amenities that you have in that house that you're super excited about? What job? What are you doing? What does that job look like? What does your ideal day look like? What are you doing? What value are you providing to those around you? What vacations do you go on? If that's something that's important to you, what car are you driving? What clothes are you wearing? How do you feel? You need to get a picture of that in your mind that is so crystal clear, because as you start putting that into your brain and your subconscious, your reticular activating system starts getting that in there, you can't help but move towards that. Daryl and I have talked about getting blueprints, plans for the house that we want to live in, this dream house, so that we can see it, that we can imagine ourselves in there, being there. What does that kitchen look like? How are we going to move in that kitchen? What amazing foods are going to come out of that kitchen? What does the bedroom look like? What do our porches look like? All of that detail does matter. Whatever it is that you want, you need to think about it in detail. And as you go along, some of those details might clarify. Some of those things may be like, oh, actually, I don't need that anymore. That's cool. I can put that aside. But you want to clarify as much as you possibly can. So number 1 is develop a clear vision of where you want to go. Write it down, draw it out, get pictures. However it is best to help you visualize that, do that. Okay. And then number 2, as we kind of talked about before, gratitude is, incredible. So start a gratitude practice for the day. This doesn't have to be super complicated or, intricate. It can be something simple and make it a habit. This is your practice for the day. Maybe it's writing down 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for each day. Maybe this is something that you add in your prayers of what you are thankful and grateful for the day. Maybe this is something you add to your meditation. Maybe it's something that as you get better at this, right? Because it's a practice, it's a habit. As you get moving in this practice of gratitude, it will come to you easier when things pop up that you weren't expecting. Maybe they're obstacles. And you can more easily stop yourself for thinking of the negative and start thinking of, how is this working for me? I am thankful that this obstacle came up because Now I can think about it in a different way. I can approach it in a different way. And what will happen is practicing this gratitude shifts your mindset to a positive state, and it aligns your energy, your frequency, your vibration to the abundance mindset and the abundance that's out there for all of us. And it will begin attracting more positive circumstances in your life because you can't help but see the positive. So number 2, practice gratitude daily. The third one is take action every day. Whatever that goal is, whatever it is you're working on, make sure you are focused on that and working towards that every day. Every day needs to be progress, even if it's minor, small, tiny little progress. Make sure that you are working towards that. Identify one or two key actions that you need to take each day to move you closer to your goals. Maybe you're learning a new skill, a new avatar in real estate. Make it a point that every day you're learning something new in that realm. We are bombarded with so much information, and especially in the communities that we're in, there's stuff on wholesaling, there's stuff on underwriting, there's stuff on buy and holds, there's stuff on fix and flips, there's stuff on multifamily, there's stuff on capital raising, on and on and on and on. And we can feel like we need to be a part of all of that. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe you need to pick the one lane that you're focused in and put those blinders on and head down that lane and stay in that lane and stay focused on that. Another thing is make sure you're going into that activity, that learning, that growing with a positive attitude of what am I going to receive? What wisdom am I going to gain that's going to move me forward? You want to always have that positive mindset. I need to be better about not focusing on the negative and shifting my thoughts to the positive, because what you think about, you bring about. I've told my kids this a lot. They don't like that thought, but what you think about, you do bring about. So make sure you are focusing only on the positive. So number 3 is take action every day. Number 4, you want to focus on creating value. When you're stepping into a space, there's lots of others in that space, right? We've talked about how can we be creative versus competitive. So there's other people in that space. So instead of worrying about what they're doing, what can you do? What can you bring? What is your special talent? What are the thoughts that you are interested in bringing into the space that you can provide a different perspective and add value to the space? And that will be another way that you're going to attract business, attract people to you, because you're providing something different. You're providing something new. Again, this kind of goes along with the creative thinking, in addition to being in that creative headspace. So you're not competing, but you are finding a new way to present. You want to think about different ways you can solve problems, you can improve the service that you're providing, or new ways of presenting opportunities or creating new opportunities as well. Now, the mindset here of creating value is going to attract success and open up new pathways. You might be heading down this path and thinking, okay, this is the thing that I want to create. And you're going to get an offshoot of, well, okay, I'm creating this, but I can also add this line of service so that I can provide more value to more people. How fun is that? Okay, and then number 5 is visualize your success. I think this one is the hardest, but the easiest. It takes some time to get into this space. So this is the one that I need the most improvement in because I do have a hard time visualizing things. So what you want to do is spend a few minutes each day. Remember, number 1, creating that clear vision. You want to spend a few minutes each day visualizing it, walking through your dream home, sitting on the porch, drinking your coffee in the morning, or whatever that vision is that you have. You want to put yourself in that place, and you want to think as if you've already achieved these goals. Put yourself in the present. I Here's one that this one's going to be fun for you guys. Here's one that I've been saying to myself. I am so thankful and grateful now that I'm making $100,000 a month. Now, that may sound outlandish and crazy and huge. Believe me, yes. But the more I tell myself, I'm so thankful and grateful now that I'm making $100,000 a month. I am so thankful and grateful now that I'm making $100,000 a month. Every time I tell myself that, what does my brain hear? I'm making $100,000 a month. I'm making $100,000 a month. I'm making $100,000 a month. So when I begin making more money, it's not scary, because sometimes we self-sabotage when we get the things that we want because we don't think we deserve them and we don't think we're worthy of them. So the more my mind gets used to the idea that I'm making $100,000 a month, then when I begin making more money, it won't feel scary and it won't feel that I'm not worthy of it. It'll feel like I'm on the path to that thing. So visualizing your success, spend a few minutes each day as if you've already achieved those goals. What is the house that you're living in? What are the clothes that you're wearing? What are the activities that you're doing? Maybe you want to speak on stages, and maybe that's something that you're really working towards. Visualize yourself on those stages. Imagine the way you're going to feel. Think about a time when you were really excited or felt really satisfied with life, and borrow those feelings and put it in that future casting, right? How are you feeling? What are the experiences and the benefits that you have reached now that you've reached those goals? As you develop that mental practice and you do it daily, it's going to reinforce your commitment to those goals, and it's going to keep you motivated because your subconscious is starting to look for those things, look for ways, look for opportunities that are going to move you towards those goals. So that's number 5, is visualize your success. Before I recap that, I wanted to share this story with you. One of the things when I was reading this book that was a huge mindset shift for me, it was like this switch flipped in my mind of just shifting the way I saw something. Okay, again, going back to Nerdville here. Think of Newton's third law of motion, which states that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. In my brain, what I thought about is bumper cars, right? When you hit, you bounce off. And that is the equal and opposite reaction. I think because the word opposite was in there, it meant away from, opposing in my brain. While I was reading this, it really changed that perspective of, okay, if I'm putting out what I want, what's good, what's positive, the opposite is coming towards me, right? Like magnets versus the bumper cars. So I am attracting those things to my life. What I'm putting out is what I'm going to bring back. So what you think about is what you bring about. So when you're in that state of gratitude, when you're putting out that it's okay that you're bringing in money, that you're creating value, and putting that out into the world, those things that you need to make those things happen are naturally, by law, going to start attracting to you. So let's recap the actionable steps that we're going to take moving forward. We are going to develop a crystal clear, detailed vision of what we want. What do we want to create financially, and what does that picture look like? Number 2, we're going to practice gratitude daily. And we're going to write down those things that we're grateful for, that we're thankful for, that we are excited about to bring more abundance into our life. Number 3, we're going to take action daily. 1 or 2 key things that are going to move you forward. Make sure you're focusing on those. Number 4, we are going to focus on creating value. In that value creation, we are going to find different and new and exciting ways that we can create an offer that is attractive to others and provide something else, something new, something improved to the service that we are providing. And then number 5, we are going to visualize our success. And this is where you're going to use that phrase, I am so thankful and grateful now that. So this can be with your gratitude practice. You can be thankful for what you have, right? And then visualize that success. And I am so thankful and grateful now that I am making $100,000 a month. I am so thankful and grateful now that I am walking through this house that I have dreamed about for years. So you want to spend that time visualizing. Develop a clear vision, number 1. Number 2, practice gratitude daily. Number 3, take action every day. Number 4, focus on value creation. And number 5, visualize your success. All right, guys, that is the summary of The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. I want you to go out and get that book or get it on Audible and start soaking it in and seeing what amazing things you can create in your life. Now, I would love it if you would like and subscribe. If you found this valuable today, please share this episode with those in your life who are also on this entrepreneurial path, who are looking for those little tips and tricks to help them move forward in their business. All right, guys, until next time, have a great week.